This is water. Not magic potion, not some superfood from a hidden valley in Iceland, not a beer. Water in a can with a skull on it. One of the best brands you can study as a small business owner. So in this video, I want to break down what Liquid Death did so well, and more importantly, how you can steal the principles without having to coat your brand in skulls and blood fonts. Unless you want to. I'm not here to judge. We're going to talk about positioning, tone of voice, picking an enemy, starting simple, and why all the branding in the world still falls apart if the product is trash. By the end of this, I want you to see your business a little more like a brand and a little less like we just sell a thing. So the first big lesson, Liquid Death did not invent water. They didn't invent cans. They didn't invent thirst. What they did was they take the most boring product in the world and give it a point of view. That's good news for you. Most small business owners are secretly hoping their thing will be so special that branding will not matter. But most of the time, what wins is not a brand new thing, it's a familiar thing that's reframed in a bold way. Liquid Death basically said, everybody already drinks water. We're gonna be the water for people who hate being boring. No fancy wellness pitch, no blue mountains turning white, no fake mountain spring fantasy stock footage, just this is water that looks like a beer can and sounds like a metal band. For a local business, that might look like the accountant for people who hate suits, the gym for people who hate gyms, the dentist who refuses to smell like a dentist's office. You might still offer the same core service as the guy across town, but your positioning is what makes your version feel different. Liquid Death has a very clear enemy. Plastic bottles, boring, weak, forgettable water brands. Safe, bland marketing. The name Liquid Death is an attack on thirst. The tagline, murder your thirst, is absurd. And that is exactly why it works. When you pick a clear enemy, you are also picking a clear audience. They're not trying to be water for everyone. They're going after people who like the joke, like the style, and like that it does not feel like any other water brand. As a small business, your enemy might not be a competitor. It might be confusing pricing, slow communication, corporate coldness, overcomplicated tech, inconsistent results. If you say we are the opposite of that thing, people instantly understand where to place you. The worst brand position you can hold is we are pretty good, kind of like everyone else. Pick an enemy. Everything about this can be loud. The logo, the skull, the name, the copy on the back. Their marketing is not kind of playful, it's fully committed. They do joke campaigns, ridiculous videos, fake horror movie energy. They lean into death metal, punk, counterculture. And here's the important part, it's consistent. You never see Liquid Death suddenly go, hey guys, check out a refreshing hydration solution for your active lifestyle. They made a tone choice and stuck with it. Most small businesses do the opposite. They're playful one day, corporate the next, sentimental the next, and then silent for 3 months. Your tone of voice is a weapon when it is consistent. That does not mean you need skulls and flames. For you, it could be dry humor, straight shooting, blunt honesty, gentle, calm therapist energy, West Texas storyteller vibes. As long as it feels like a real human and you do it on purpose, tone becomes part of why people remember you. When Liquid Death started, they were not trying to be the everything brand. They started with still and sparkling water. That's it. Once the brand distribution and demand were solid, then they added teas and flavored options. They didn't start with here's 19 flavors and 7 product lines and a kombucha. They started simple, built a cult following, and expanded out from there. For small business, that's huge. You don't need 8 service tiers, 6 add-ons, 4 separate brands. You need one signature offer that people can easily explain when they tell their friends about you. Oh, he's the guy who, she's the person who, they're the company that. Once that's working, you can start adding related offers. Liquid Death reminds you that expansion is a chapter, not the first sentence. One of my favorite things about Liquid Death is how they treat their brand like an entertainment studio. I mean, they did a candle collaboration with Martha Stewart that looked like a severed hand. They do ridiculous merch. They create fake commercials that roast marketing itself. None of this is strictly necessary to sell water, but it does something more valuable. It builds a world. In that world, drinking water feels like being in on the joke. The brand has lore and inside humor. People feel proud to be seen with the product. For a small business, you are probably not making that severed hand candle, but you can still build a world, a recurring visual motif in your content, small running jokes your audience will start to recognize, a mascot, a recurring phrase that shows up everywhere. Events or collabs that feel on brand, not random. This is what separates we have a logo from we have a brand. A logo is a stamp. A brand is a world. Here's the part that gets skipped in a lot of brand conversations. If Liquid Death tastes bad, this wouldn't work long term. The joke would land, the people would look cool, people would buy it once, and they would never buy it again. Novelty grabs attention. Quality keeps customers. Same for your business. You have a strong visual identity, a bold tone, a clear enemy, and great campaigns. But if the experience is inconsistent, the results are weak, the communication is sloppy, no amount of branding will save it. Brand gets them in the door. Delivery is what keeps the door from revolving. So as you sharpen your brand, let it push you to sharpen how you deliver too. Liquid Death could not coast forever on cool cans. They had to make the product genuinely good. And if you've had their water, just like their basic water, it's great. And I'm not a sweet tea drinker. The sweet tea with agave and vitamins is fantastic. So how do you apply all this without trying to become a knockoff Liquid Death? Here's a simple checklist you can literally pause and write down. First, name your enemy. Is it confusion, slow response times, stale creative, corporate coldness, lazy competitors? Is it murdering thirst? Second, clarify your tone. Are you calm, blunt, playful, rebellious? Pick one lane, lean into it. Third, pick one signature offer to communicate. If someone asks, what do they actually do? You should be able to answer in a single sentence. Fourth, add one weird, memorable move. Not 17. One, a small pattern breaker that people remember you for. That might be a handwritten note with every order, a weird but lovable mascot, a specific phrase you end every video with, a distinctive visual element. This should be an element that supports your overall brand. Fifth, deliver like crazy. All the fun branding in the world has to sit on top of actual trust. Liquid Death is one of the best branding case studies for small businesses, and it literally just sells water. They took a boring product and gave it a wild position. Water that looks like a beer can and sounds like a metal band. They picked a clear enemy, boring plastic bottle brands and weak marketing. Murder your thirst is not subtle, but it's unforgettable. They committed to a strong tone of voice. Every touch point feels like the same ridiculous self-aware character. They started simple, with still and sparkling water, built demand and trust, then expanded into teas and flavors. And Liquid Death treats their brand like a world. Weird collabs, funny campaigns, merch that people actually want to wear. Your version of this is simpler. Name your enemy, clarify your tone, pick one signature offer, and one weird, memorable move. Then deliver like crazy so the brand actually has something solid under it. If you have an idea of how to emulate this Liquid Death marketing strategy, leave it in the comments for me. I'm always curious to see what other people come up with and how to take their business, whether it's really sexy or really boring, and branding that and marketing that and communicating that in unique ways. I made 50 of these videos and they're all releasing soon, so if you want to be notified for that, hit follow and those should pop up in your feed. Stay curious, stay scrappy. You got this.